So basically, some space has been allotted in the central processing unit's memory, and wherein data belonging to this class will be stored. And to access the data variables with values, say we have an integer type of data like int I is the variable name with value 10. So this value, say this value is in class A, right? So in order to access this value, we can access it like obj dot, here I will be stored equal to 10. How to access it? obj1 dot I. So you can virtually imagine that name variable pair are being stored line wise or whatever be the structure. Actually data is stored with there are hash keys and all associated pointing to data in the memory, but not going into the complications of that. Data is stored in the memory, and in order to access the data we need an object of that class. So with the object of that class we can access that data. Now if there is no data, there is no object, suppose this line is not there, a obj1 equal to new a is not there, only this variable is there. In order to access this variable we can use the word static. Means it will look like int static int I. There is an order followed, static int I equal to 10. Now in order to access I, we can access I with a dot I. Because of the keyword static means that I belongs to the entire class. We need not make objects to access it. Okay, so this is static. Here this is a static variable, this is a static method. What is the meaning of a variable? A variable is basically a name that we assign, that we keep in the coding, we write in the coding. Any name, an attribute to which a value will be assigned, or to which a value will be assigned at runtime dynamically, or basically a name that changes, variable, which is why it is called variable. And this is a data type. Data type means I and I equal to 10 is the data, right? Attribute with the value is the data. But what is the data type? Type of data is integer. It is an integer. Int is a keyword in Java to denote integer. Similarly, we have got float data type to for float data type for decimal values 10.26 say. right? This is another data of data type float. Then we can have character data type, char c, say c equal to a within single quotes. Here this is the data, this is the data type. Similarly, we can have string name equal to Ritu or Ritu1. Here 1 being inside the quotes will be treated as a string. So this is another data of type string, series of characters. So these are data types. There are other data types, boolean, which can only take true or false. True or false. I mean either of the two for one variable. So here void is the return type. Okay, so moving on from data types, now we come to public static void main. So static means something that belongs to the entire class. Since this is the entry point, this has to be static because the compiler will be because the execution point starts from here, which is why the the main method should be static and should be public for the interpreter to access it. Interpreter means the JDK execution will be started from here, so it will process, it will be able to process because of the main method being public and static. Then return type is void, means main method is not returning any value. We can have many methods in a class. Say in this class we append another method, our own method of return type integer, int IntegerDemo is the name of the method, and we can have one parameter here, say int x or int x comma y, sorry, int, it is not how it is written. Void is the return type, static is the type of static belongs to the static main belongs to the main method belongs to the entire class, so it has to be static and public for the interpreter to interpret, for the execution to commence from here. Then I was talking about a method. Say here I have been writing the class again. Alright, this is public static void main, and here we can have let us take a fresh page. Here say we have our own method here, say of return type int. IntegerDemo is the name of the method that we give, and which has got two parameters, int x comma int y. Okay, and we start the braces, whatever coding will be here. Say we print the value of x plus y, say int c equal to x plus y, and we print this. System, we display the value. For that we write System.out.println value of c plus c. Value of c is plus c. Alright, we need to call this method. This is our own method of return type int. Means this method is returning an integer. So we need to write this return c. C is an integer. C is the sum of x plus y, which we are returning. Because it is int, we have to return an integer here. Instead of c, we can return, say, return 100, return 200. But it is meaningless. The purpose of this method is to add the two numbers and return the value that we returned. When we call this method will be called and the value will be collected. So this return type is int here, as opposed to the main method whose return type should be void. I mean, while writing we should write void here. It is void because it is not returning anything. So inside this method, and we have got one parameter here,